Just as expected, India getting home in a canter with possibly the shot of the game from Virat Kohli to finish things off, almost toying with the bowlers at the end just to make a bit of a statement. It was a victory, but it was a victory that was achieved in style. My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live just to wrap things up from Indore. Zaheer Khan, Harsha Bhogle in the house. We kind of expected that, and pretty much everything going along expected lines, except maybe the little tinkering the batting order.
Everything about it was perfect for everybody here, except your team, which... Okay, sorry, we won't break it up.
That's okay. That's what the My 11 Circle team is supposed to be like, but small compensation that the My 11 Circle expert couch. Just a matter of, what, 4 or 5 runs here and there? 52?
Good comeback. Good comeback.
52 in the power play.
You have one somewhere.
You won something.
Poor
Lose
Gautam,
some,
he
you
loves
win
his fantasy cricket. But you're absolutely right, that last shot just... You know, when you've got great players like Virat Kohli playing, they will always in every match stamp their class on a game. I thought that last shot was that. But there was one team. I think the other team their performance was determined by how India played. I think India controlled the game right from the beginning.
And I mean, I know they might point to things like missing out on one bowler in Isurodana, but really at the end of the day, they were outclassed.
Well, I mean, you look at today's scorecard and you say who was the out-and-out performer of the day, and you will not find a single name. You know, so everyone's contribution has been the hallmark for me from today's game. You know, everyone has contributed towards team success. You know, be it a bowling unit or a batting unit. You know, it was actually one of those games where you look at that. KL Rahul scoring 45, Shreyas Iyer scoring 34, Shikhar Dhawan scoring 32.
And Virat's not on that list, 30 of 17.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, it was one of those games, and similar case with the bowling card as well. You know, Shardul Thakur, Saini, Yadav, and Bumrah picking that wicket as well. So it was like a complete game with regard to team performance. You know, everyone will walk out of this game saying that, you know, I have played my part today, and it showed on the field today. You know, when all the 11 guys were on the field, the energy was there. You know, the intensity, energy. I think those were the things really excited me. I think 2020 they've started it on a really good note.
I mean, I was just looking at those numbers. That's why that expression. I was looking at that numbers and I was thinking what Zaheer just said. Which Sri Lankan would figure in your list of top 6 or 7 performers today? To a small extent, Hasaranga, because he got those 2 wickets. But by the time he got the wicket of KL Rahul, he had already virtually finished the game. It was 45 of 32. Someone just had to come and put the ribbon on the packaging. It was all done. So I'm just looking down this list. Zach is absolutely right. There is no one. I mean, even if you look at in the batting, Kusal Perera 34 of 28. Right at the end, Hasaranga 16 of. He had 3 boundaries and he still had 16 of 10 at the end. So it was pretty one-sided. I must confess, I'm a bit disappointed by Sri Lanka. I knew India were by far the better side, but I didn't think it would be such a one-sided game.
Yeah, because we've had, just to compare to recent series, be it Bangladesh, be it the West Indies, they all competed. They might have ended up on the losing side, but you saw enough sparks, you saw enough competition, enough individual performances from both those teams.
So much to gain. I thought Navdeep Saini, big plus for India. KL Rahul's performance plus, Virat Kohli's performance plus. Nice time in the middle for Shikhar Dhawan. Shardul Thakur picked up those wickets. Good, nice, relaxed comeback game for Bumrah. So pretty much going according to script for India this game.
Yeah, just as we keep looking ahead to a T20 World Cup year. And as you said, it doesn't always have to be about a big standout individual performance. There were no 50s and no four wicket hauls in a T20 game. And yet you're saying it was a good complete performance. And as Harsha summed up, enough performances for everyone to say Shivam Dube didn't get a look in, fair enough.
I think the skeleton which you're talking about, if you are looking at the conditions of Australia, I think this is the skeleton they should stick to. Like I said, you know, the names can change. You can look for backups. You can look for options around this. But the playing 11 structure has to remain. And look at the options which the captain gets. You know, if you have three genuine quicks playing along with the 2 spinners, you know, so that is securing your 20 overs. And if someone is having an off day, you have an option of going to your 6th bowling option. You know, and more often than not, that option will not be used. Yeah. But that's fine. You know, you are still walking in the game, being very flexible in terms of using any bowler at any stage in the game. And I think that really in this format, that really matters. You know, that really gives you that extra edge in terms of controlling the game. And and you have such a strong batting lineup. So you can actually look at the games, with your 5 or 6 top batters finishing the game for you, having a cushion of 6 or 7. You'll have that 7 batsman. If you want that that batting protection there, you can look for it. But I think the priority has to be given to this, for you to consistently do well in this format.
You mentioned Shivam Dube didn't have much to do. It felt so much like my first year in the school team. Your mother said, "Did you play today?" I did. I'm looking at the scorecard. "Did you play today?" "Mama, I took one catch." See? Dhananjay De Silva caught Shivam Dube. You get these games sometimes, right? But it's not bad. You get well paid for taking a catch.
Yeah, but again, if you look at the opening partnership, it's one of the reasons why someone like, say, Shivam Dube down the lineup didn't even need to think of putting his pads on. 71 of 55, the whole debate about who could be Rohit Sharma's opening partner. Well, KL Rahul certainly put his hand up again, though Shikhar Dhawan wasn't far behind.
Yeah, I think KL Rahul's actually given Shikhar Dhawan the time to play himself in, because he looked so composed. Those 3 boundaries we talked about on Cricbuzz Combox, 2 of the front foot, one just what seemed like a push of the back foot, were just absolute class. And because he was in such good form, there's no pressure on Shikhar at the other end. So it's a very good combination. Apparently they're competing for spots, but one's actually ended up helping the other today.
Yeah, we were drawing a parallel with David Warner and Shikhar Dhawan opening for the Sunrisers, and how one would feed off the other, or would one give enough time for the other to play. So in a sense, an in-form batsman at the other end sometimes does help you.
It always does. I think, end of the day, it's about partnerships, And end of the day, yes, we are talking about this healthy competition, and there is competition for the spot. But the fact of the matter is, they both were playing together. And when you're playing together, you're playing for the team, and you're looking at the situation and what is required of that situation. And you've seen in partnership, it's not always that the aggressive batsman is going to be aggressive, and the other batsman is going to take time. Like, you've seen so many times, even with Shikhar and Rohit. Yeah, sometimes, the Rohit takes off, sometimes Shikhar takes off. So when the batsman is in form, the other batsman's responsibility is to make sure that the man in form getting maximum strike as possible, because end of the day, what matters is that scoreboard. That is for one team. It is not for individuals.
I mean, look at 142 was what Sri Lanka made. Half the runs came in less than half the overs. That's the job of the openers. Yeah. So the openers finished the game there. In 9 overs, they made 71. And they finished the game. As it turned out today, it was KL Rahul. Also, I think Rahul is much higher on confidence. Shikhar, not just in and out of the side, but he's coming out of an injury as well. So he's a little concerned about how I'm going to go about it. So the more confident guy took off. In the end, the partnership won the game for India.
And of course, you talk about, we briefly mentioned RCB when it was Virat Kohli celebrating Navdeep Saini on the one hand, but looking at Isuru Udan on the other, he'd be saying, "Oh dear, you win some, you lose some."
I don't know how bad it is. It seemed like a back. And he's gone off. So I messaged a friend of mine saying, "Oh, your season started." And he said, "No, Navdeep Saini's taken wickets." So you can see we're 2.5 months away. That's the impact the IPL has on all of us, right? We're already talking about the IPL. 2 of us, that is. He can't. He's going to be sitting in the dugout. He's going to be sitting in the dugout. Yeah, he's going to be sitting in the dugout.
But again, Sri Lanka don't have, other than Hasaranga, they don't have too many positives to look at. They've got couple of days to turn things around for the final game. It is effectively a 2-match series.
I think Lahiru Kumara is also positive for me. He bowled with that extra pace, which Indian bowlers really used it to their advantage. From Sri Lanka side, if you see, they were lacking pace. And we did mention in the mid show that the pace is what did Sri Lankan batting lineup. Lahiru Kumara looked like he was rushing batsmen. So that's I think another positive for Sri Lanka in this series going forward.
Certainly is, but again, if you look at the perfect team that you had to put, I have to sort of admit it, mine was as far from perfect as you can get, but there were some of you out there who put in the right kind of players, who picked the right players, and of course, if you had this perfect combination, you'd end up with the My 11 Circle ultimate team of the day. And of course, you'd have to have, Shardul Thakur as captain. Remember, he picked up the 3 wickets quietly. We weren't really talking about him, but he did end up getting the wickets. And Hasaranga is vice-captain. This is, of course, a utopian scenario, where if you have all these players in this particular combination, you'd have the perfect number of points.
Yeah, before everyone says, "Where's Bumrah?" This is the performances on the day today.
It's the performances on the day. It's got nothing to do with who you would...
So this is the team that would have won the maximum number of points.
Yep.
Right? This is the team you wish you had picked.
Close to.
Okay.
This is very close to the team I wish I had. A lot of their players were missing there. I didn't have Shardul Thakur, captain or vice-captain or anything. But there was somebody who is the champion, and our My 11 Circle champion of the day is Tirath Rawat from Uttar Pradesh with 515.75. And as you can see, sometimes those points do vary, but hashtag play with the champions, or play with champions.
Naam Tirath hai. It looks like he just come from the temple and whatever. So Naam Tirath hai. That helped.
It is. Yeah, we always keep
Maybe
track
you
of,
want to next.
we always keep track of the sunglasses. A lot of the players who come and do well in there, they send pictures with the best sunglasses of all. But nonetheless, congratulations, and congratulations also to Team India. But let's look ahead. Remember, it is the third match that's coming up in Pune, but it will be a chance for Sri Lanka to level the series since the first one was a washout in Guwahati. Now, Sri Lanka will still tell themselves plenty to play for.
You know, we talked about Sri Lanka coming to Indore with bad memories, that India had made 260 in a 20-over game, that Rohit Sharma had hit one of the fastest hundreds, KL Rahul had hit an 89. They'll go to Pune and say, we beat India in Pune once, because that was one of the greenest Indian wickets you'll see.
Yeah.
I have no idea what track to expect in Pune, because normally Pune track has decent bounce, but you don't know what to
You'll
expect.
possibly get similar kind of a track in at this time of the year. And I remember that game. I think Chamira, was it?
Yeah, Dushman,
Yeah,
Chamira
Dushmantha
played well,
got,
Kasun Rajita played well. And I remember doing an interview with Dasun Chanaka because he had picked up 3 wickets and he said, nobody in Sri Lanka knows that I bowl. I'm a batsman. I said, yeah, well done. You have tracks like these, everyone becomes a bowler.
Well, so again, they will be looking at perhaps obviously a replacement for Isurudana to start with.
Yeah.
So let's again have a look at the Sri Lanka squad and see what options they have to put into that side. We know Angelo Matthews is there as an option. Kusal Mendes, not often you see 3 players of the caliber of Niroshan Dikwela, Kusal Mendes, Angelo Matthews being in the squad but not in an 11.
Tell you what, the Sandakan's not a bad bowler. So there's a few options. If they'll have to change one bowler by the looks of it. I mean, we don't know how bad Udana is. They can go Kasun Rajita. They can go, I think there's one more quick bowler somewhere in there. No? Okay, they'll have to go with Rajita then. He's the backup quick.
Only 1 for 1. So you reckon that that's pretty much...
Unless they want to change one of the batsmen, unless they think they want Angelo coming in for someone like Rajapaksa.
Just get that extra experience up. Kusal Mendes, I mean, why would you not give him a look in?
I don't know. I mean, 2 years ago.
He's been their best batsman at 1
3 years
point.
ago, we looked at Kusal Mendes and said, wow, he'd got a great 100 against Australia. He got a great 100 against India. And every time you say, wow, he's got potential, but the numbers have tailed off completely ever since.
But interesting, we have a look at someone like Kusal Mendes, and with someone of his caliber being in the squad but sitting out almost reminds me of something we were going to chat about with earlier, but we can have a quick discussion now, and that's Manish Pandey. You know, he's been in the Indian squad, in the Indian setup for the longest time, but not finding himself in that 11. What does Manish Pandey have to do? Mentally, we talk about the Shikhar Dhawan conundrum. What does Manish Pandey have to do?
Well, he has to be ready. I mean, that's the best you can do in these kind of scenarios, because you can lose your rhythm. You know, you are there because obviously you performed and you have scored runs to get there. But now, since you are traveling with the team, you're not getting that match time. You know, so lack of match time can really hamper your form, and that is something which you have to find a way of making things which will help you stay in that zone. You know, you've seen how often that, you know, players who have been traveling for a long time, when they get an opportunity, they feel that, you know, they've been short of the match time, and you know that can affect their game for sure. So you have to just keep hitting the ball and be ready. You know, you have to find a way of getting ready for that one opportunity which you're going to get, because you're out right now because the others are performing. You know, it's not that, and you should consider yourself lucky, because you look at this current lineup right now and players who are knocking doors of Indian cricket. You know, the competition is huge. So to be there around in that setup is itself an achievement. So you have to make sure that you do everything and be ready for that one opportunity which you're going to get.
He makes a valid point. It's not only Manish Pandey, it's also Sanju Samson who's in the squad. When you're in the team, you get 3 or 4 chances, right? Because you've broken into the side, you need 3 or 4 chances to do well. When you're out of the side, you tend to get 1 chance when you come back. And so I remember having this long discussion with VVS Lakshman once, and he said, when you're out of the side, you've got to try harder, because you'll only get that 1 chance when you come back, and you've got to make the most of it. So it must be very hard on Manish Pandey, because after a long time, he's had a really good season, and he's not, Out of 9 games, he's played 1, I think. It's not a great...
The first time I heard this was from Rahul Dravid when asking him about his first experience playing at Lords. Everyone always focuses on Ganguly and having got the 100. But Rahul Dravid batting as a specialist batsman at number 7.
got 95.
Yeah, and he said he walked out there assuming it was going to be his last test match. And those words have always stuck with me because it was a scenario where he had somehow broken into the team but didn't really know it, didn't have a place in that side. He was just there because...
See, that is why you must make your debut on a good batting surface so that there's enough time for everybody to bat. So, next test he made 84 and then... and then... Did he ever get dropped after? I don't think he ever got dropped from a test match team.
No,
I don't think he ever got dropped.
He almost played 100 test matches without missing a single one, yeah.
But are there different people who deal with these things differently? I mean, does Manish Pandey come across as the kind of character who's more than happy to muck in with the boys and just, as you said, wait for that opportunity?
Definitely, I think, and it varies player to player. You know, it also depends on what kind of personality you have. You know, you can get frustrated also at times. You should be able to find a way of kind of not letting it get to you. You know, so that's something which is very important. Yeah, there are few people who don't have a proper routine like me.
He's just got married. He's just got married, so he must be happy in life.
So you know, so if you have routines like that, then these things don't really affect you that much. But if you are of a different personality who wants things in a particular manner, then yeah, it can get to you.
Well, let's just show you that Indian squad again. So we're not expecting to have any changes. You've got a winning combination. You've got enough reasons not to change anything. We mentioned Manish Pandey, Sanju Samson, Yuzvendra Chahal. It's always that toss-up between him and Kuldeep Yadav.
Look, the only way Manish Pandey can come into that side
is an injury.
Is if Shreyas Iyer, he can take Shreyas Iyer's place. Really, that was a shootout. Shreyas Iyer won the place. He's done nothing to be left out of the side thereafter. Or if there's something happens, Rishabh Pant, KL Rahul keeps wickets, it opens the way for another batsman. But I think going with Australia in mind, there's about 20-22 games. I know they're not going to look at things till after the IPL is over. But slowly, I think they'll start giving everybody opportunities so that suddenly if someone's got to be in the side, then he's got some game time. Because when you come back into the side, you're thinking, oops, only one game. So some people might say, wow, man, one game is better than no games. Some guy might say, oh, if I don't score today and get 2 10, that's why I said it depends on how you handle the situation.
But again, when you're looking at something like Shreyas Iyer batting ahead of Virat Kohli today, was that again a thinking from the camp saying give him some time in the middle?
Well, I think they are trying to find that answer to what they faced in the World Cup. You know, so that is something. How do you achieve that? You know, so if your top 3 players are always in form, the number 4 batsman is not getting that opportunity. So they are finding a way of giving these youngsters that many opportunities and that much of game time. You know, so that, and they want to also see like that. That's what Virat was talking at the toss. Like, you know, he wants to see how these batters are reacting to pressure. They've tried it with Rishabh Pant as well. You know, where he has been given those opportunities, pushed up the order. I think now it's Shreyas' turn, and you know, so far he has been grabbing those opportunities nicely. So you know, so it's a good move. You know, it's nice to see that when you know that the score is well below par and you've almost secured the game. You know, there is nothing much to be concerned about. They've made use of that opportunity.
I think if India were batting first, I think Virat would have batted 3. But the fact that 70 had already been put on, game was virtually over, you can let Shreyas go and get yourself a 30-40.
Malinga admitted, of course, that they were 20 or 30 short. But from KL Rahul's point of view...
More than 20, 30
But with 20-25 runs, you know, they would have been able to make a game because,
see something.
Mind you, they've lost a bowler as well. Yeah. You know, and at one stage, the game was tricky. Yes, you know, after that, Shreyas played some good shots to release that pressure. But the pressure was mounting at that stage. So yeah, they'll possibly say that okay, the bowlers needed some more runs. Yes, minimum 25 runs.
Final observation on KL Rahul. He was again after the game. He said time out there in the middle is what mattered, and just trying to sort his head out by being in there.
He should just make the most of this phase. He's hitting the ball like a dream. He's just got to make the most of this phase. You can see how Steve Smith comes back, gets into the middle. He's making the most of that. So when you get a chance, you're batting so well. Score as many as you can. I'm sure he'll be disappointed today because he looked good to be 70-80 not out. Maybe even more the way he was batting. So, he's just batting like a dream. I mean, look at his last, 7 scores? Today he almost got a 50, he's got a 100, he's got a 90, he's got a 70, a 60, 50, 40, scoring runs every time.
Yep. And I think the one word that really sums up this, and Kohli has used that word, is clinical. And that's what you want at the start of a year. This is the 2020 year for the 2020 World Cup. And you want, no matter what the opposition, yes, we admitted Sri Lanka may not have completely turned up, but you still need to be clinical even when the opposition doesn't turn up.
Look, towards the end of the year, in 19, it was just, things were just starting to taper off. Yeah. And now you can see that, that break has helped. It looked like that. Like, you can see it from the body language of the players. They were upbeat, so this is what we are talking about. I think, they've started the year on a good note, and clinical is the right word described by Virat, to kickstart the year, because this is going to be a very important year for Indian cricket.
And much like you, KL Rahul's also come back rejuvenated from a holiday in Thailand.
Wait, was he there as well?
Yeah, was he there as well? I love the way he said, was he there as well? I mean, I was there. Was KL Rahul there? Oh, okay. Was Virat there? No. Virat is somewhere.
He was in snow, Switzerland. Yes, of course. You can't miss where he was.
Sorry about that. Yeah, but see, these days, you know where people go on holiday because they're all on Instagram.
Correct.
So if you know where they were on holiday. So.
There you go. So, anyway, the one person who's not necessarily so much on Instagram, but you'll always find him asking the right questions, Joy Bhattacharya. Today, maybe went one step up, but I still think we need to tell Joy to get a little tougher on everyone, a little bit more like India's performance and Sri Lanka's performance. Nonetheless, this is what the question was. He's easing us into 2020. In Cricket World Cup history, this feat has only been achieved thrice, once by KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma. What and who have done it the other two times? First, let's get the answer. And the answer is centuries by both openers. And when we talk about the likes of KL Rahul being the form he's in, and Rohit Sharma, we expected an answer like that. Dilshan and Upul Tharanga were the others. And who is our winner of this time's Joy Factor question? And it better not be. It is. It is.
No, because he doesn't go to work. He doesn't go to college. He doesn't have dinner. All he does is, he sits with these 4 laptops all open on different pages, and one of them is hacked into Joy's database, by the way. So he knows which question Joy's cursor is on all the time. So he's waiting like that. He's got the answer.
Rohit, if you are listening, and I know you are, because you're always on Cricbuzz Live, please make sure you respond to Harsha and tell him exactly what you do outside.
Go and watch a movie. Rohit, go and watch a movie. Cricket's not everything in life. Go and watch a movie.
Any recommendations? What's the last movie you watched?
No. I don't know.
See, because he's focusing so much on the cricket too.
I don't know. I work hard.
You can still
I don't go to holidays. I don't go to Thailand for holidays. 2 of us are working very hard. Oh, he's just come back from Bali.
I heard
Bali, Thailand.
he opens up OTT platforms when he goes back, watches the movie, then he goes to sleep.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm watching a good serial at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, we both got duly sledged, so that's a good time, I think, to wrap things up. Pune next. Both of you have a Pune connection?
Yeah, I mean, he makes money out of Pune. I just go there to watch a game and come back. But Sri Lanka will have to up their game really big time. Somebody in that top 3 or 4 has to say, look, we cannot play the way we did there. Let's go and put on 50, 60 in quick time. I think Kusal Perera needs to be that person. Unless Angelo Matthews is batting at 4 and stabilizing, but it's not his style. I think Kusal Perera has to be that person to go and change things. Or maybe if Avishka Fernando has a great day, one of those two have just got to go up early and make a statement.
Unexpectedly, Navdeep Saini, man of the match.
Yeah, no, sir. I was wondering who they'd give it to. I was hoping they'll give it to Saini.
Wait,
good call.
What, toss up between Rahul and Saini?
I mean, he's bowler, he'll give it to Saini anyway.
Well, it was. I mean, he really made the impact. It was.
Bowler set up the match, right? You're talking about 25, 30 runs short of the par score, and that is something which was the decider in this game. And you've seen the changes in the batting lineup because of that. The wicket was really good, I think, for batters to bat on. Where it really changed was how Indian bowlers approached on this surface. So that is something which was a game deciding factor.
He also produced one of the thrilling moments of the day. That Yorker at 147 was fantastic.
Certainly was. Competing with Virat Kohli's finishing shot, but yeah.
But there's something about a Yorker. Like you say, wow, the cover drive or the straight drive when a batsman plays, you say, wow. When a fast bowler knocks a stump over with a Yorker, that's something else.
Yes. And I'm just being told by irrepressible producer who remembers every single delivery.
Started like that.
Yep.
I was
Zaheer
there.
Khan to Steve Waugh.
I was there. I saw that. I saw that. Young
Did you
man
see
in
it
the
as
big
well?
jump. Young man in the big jump.
Yeah, I saw it. Yesterday, in fact, Saurav Ganguly made me see it again. I went on this show, Dadagiri, so which will be airing soon now. So so he put that clip on, took me back to Champions Trophy and
Kenya, Nairobi. Nairobi 2000.
taking Steve Waugh's wicket. Yes.
Well, good. Always good to finish with good memories. A bowler, man of the match, winning the game for India. But overall, it was Team India who were the winner on the day. We've got one more game to go in this particular series. All action shifts to Pune in 3 days' time. Thank you, Zaheer Khan. Thank you, Harsha. We'll see you all then. This is yet another edition of My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. We'll see you soon.